Jenny left.
Oh.
Yeah.
This meeting is being held at the Pulaski Village Hall at 585 East Glenbrook Drive. Could I have a roll call and pledge?
Gordy Black.
Present.
Bruce Birchgusky.
Present.
Roger Birchgusky.
Present.
Robert Gajewski.
Here.
Doug Prentice.
Present.
Chris Smith. Here. And Reed Woodward.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
By Doug,
I'll second that.
by Roger, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Number 3, persons desiring to be heard. Persons desiring to be heard. Third time, persons desiring to be heard. Number 4, to consider approve road projects. Committee at whole did recommend that the 3 road projects, Pelican, Green Bay Street, and Karch Drive,
In 2019.
be done and bonded for in 2019. Do I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
By Gordy,
I'll second that.
by Doug, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, to consider capital improvement plan and borrowing. And I think as a result of our discussions, we'll do the capital improvement plan borrowing with only the 3 streets as part of the capital improvement plan for this coming 2019.
I'll make that motion.
Bruce,
I'll second.
Bob, Gajewski. Any further discussion?
Yeah, just, could that change in the year 2019? I mean, you know, what I'm saying is, would there be some circumstances that could change that? Or we would have money for the generator or our...
Well, we'll find that out in the future, and then it can be added to discussion right now. We're only going to borrow the money that are necessary for the roads.
Okay.
But with what we find out tomorrow, if they can pull a rabbit out of the hat in some way, shape, or form, we certainly then can bring this back to have discussions. I guess that's where you were headed, Roger?
Yes.
Okay.
It probably depends on the bids, what the bids come back at too. It could make an impact of where it's gonna go, I'm assuming.
Is amendment,
Do you want that figure in there too, that
Yes, that's
2.39 million?
2.39. That's what the 3 projects.
For the roads.
is amendment required for our capital
It's
improvements?
actually,
You could.
Not necessarily required. Okay.
3 million, so much of the revenue, so much of the geo fund.
So
1,005,000 would be revenue bond. Now, I don't know, I guess this depends on what number you're using for East Green Bay Street. I had $250 more, $250,000 more in my estimate, so it would be $2,445,000-ish. Geo
The
bond.
bankers want to donate half of the project.
Ooh, super.
Can't
Green
be
Bay
fast,
Street.
you know. I'm okay with that.
Where are we at, Karen? We have a motion and second.
Yes, motion by Bruce, seconded by
Right,
Bob
and Roger had
Gajewski.
a question.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6, Pulaski Adult Activity Center. And I guess we'll just,
We don't have a motion out of that?
no.
Keep it on the radar.
Number 7, persons are to be heard. Persons are to be heard. Such other matters authorized by law. Such other matters is authorized by law. Third time. such other matters.
They had something.
You brought up before about the room tax commission coming up. The Department of Revenue is going through a hearing process to look at changing some of the laws related to how the room tax is
Lovely.
collected. It may not affect the way the village operates. It has to do with what they call lodging marketplaces, which is something like Airbnb and VRBO and those folks. A lot of the people who rent their houses out allow Airbnb, for example, to collect the tax for them and turn it over. But they have to have an agreement in place to do that. They're supposed to be registered with the state first, which they are now. But the DNR, DOR, Department of Revenue, is looking at changing how that system operates. They have to collect a sales tax and a room tax. They're collecting the sales tax and turning it over to the state. And the state hasn't really looked carefully at it enough, but that's what they're working through now. They also collect the tax for room taxes for certain communities that have agreements with them or have understandings with them about how this is going to work, but they pay it out based on your zip code. So, for example, Green Bay and Howard, and there's half of the west side of the county is 54313. That's all going to Green Bay. And Howard and Ashwaubenon, who are in 313, are not real happy about it. But they haven't been able to figure out a way how to undo it and do it by address rather than by zip code. That's what the DNR or DOR is working on now. So if anybody is renting their house out here, and because I do a lot of this for the county, I just ran a check, had them run a check for us back around Polka Days. There were a couple of places that were rented out. So I don't know if you ever got any money from Airbnb from that. It would have come to the village. It's probably not going to be much, but it's something to just kind of be heads up to that may be coming. So it won't change how you operate. It'll change how the big players are going to operate to report it. But again, because we're 54162, we're the only one that's going to get it. I mean, even if we're sort of in the Green Bay situation.
Yeah.
If somebody in Pittsfield
Bring it.
is renting their house out for Polka Days or whatever, the money's going to come here. It's not going to Pittsfield.
As it should.
All right.
I'll second that.
Same thing in anybody in the surrounding area that's got the Pulaski zip code. If they rent their house out through one of these lodging marketplaces, it's coming here. So, and that's the Green Bay's Room Tax Commission. That's kind of they're trying to figure out how to deal with that too, because Ashwaubenon wants their share of what Green Bay's getting. So, and same thing with Howard. So,
Interesting.
So if you've looked that up, and we should have gotten some money, can somebody go back and collect that? I mean, how do you know that?
I mean, you can go on, anybody can do it. You can go on Airbnb and just plug in Pulaski and see if any houses come up.
Oh, yeah.
But people can put their house on for July,
Yep.
for Polka Days, and then take it off. It's not like you sign up and you're on forever, so you can put your house on for whatever period of time you want.
Right.
And so that's why back in July, I ran a check, and there were a couple houses, and I didn't follow up the exact address. I probably have it in my notes in my file, but there were some houses that were up for rent for the week or for the weekend.
But we'd have to have some type of amendment to make that money come.
Yeah, I think Airbnb would require us to be under some kind of an agreement with them
Okay.
for them to turn the money over. But these people are supposed to be collecting the taxes.
Seems awful loosey-goosey.
Right.
It is.
Yeah, I'm sure it
It
is.
is. It's a whole new concept because there was just a Supreme Court case from North Dakota or something that dealt with the ability of Airbnb's argument was, we don't have any nexus, we don't have any contact with the state of Wisconsin. We're just a website in San Francisco. Collect your own taxes. Again, because people can jump in and out of this stuff so quickly, the state is saying, no, Airbnb, you're supposed to report that to those communities and collect the taxes. But every community that does this has a little bit different tax structure. So you have to essentially get into the Airbnb system and let them know we're collecting whatever our tax percentage is, and they're supposed to collect that. They will, if you work it out with them, they'll collect the 8% or the 6% or whatever you charge, and turn it over to you, but you have to notify them that you've got a room tax.
I imagine many communities don't have a room tax.
Right, many of them don't.
Yeah.
So they can't just make the assumption and assume a certain percentage.
Right.
When we were in Austria, we had to leave 20 euro on the table before leaving.
And that zip code with 541.
You're not in Austria.
I'm sure they can.
Anymore, you're not in Austria anymore.
Yeah.
Big area. With Pittsfield, Chase.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like a Maple Grove.
Must really like the place.
Yeah.
Yes, covers a wide area.
Well, it seems to me they'd be making money without paying it out. Airbnb.
Well, the
We'd
thing
have to
is,
let
if
them
they
know what they're
are,
collecting.
you know, they might be collecting the taxes and just keeping it.
Yeah,
Right.
because if it's upon us to notify them,
Mhm.
Yeah.
actually it should be their job to find out.
Mm-hmm.
That's a true accountant.
Right.
That sounds right.
They might not do that.
Well, again, that's some of this.
California's broke.
This marketplace, lodging marketplace legislation is trying to work that out. Whose responsibility is it to collect the tax and report that there is a tax? And if you sign one of the concepts that they were working through, one of our staff people from the tourism zone up in Door County went and testified at the hearing, and one of the things they were talking about was when you sign up and register for, with Airbnb, for example, they're trying to work out something that you would impose a requirement on that person to notify Airbnb as part of their sign up that there is a room tax in their community, and to get copies of that, and then Airbnb might contact the community. So all those steps in that process haven't been worked out yet.
Right. And if you're not Al Moran in this community, you don't know there's a room tax commission.
Right.
That's right.
So anyway, those are some things that may be coming up here in the next couple of months, because they had the hearing in early part of December, and they're supposed to get their legislation back to amendments to the Assembly and Senate sometime early next year.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Department reports, Public Works.
I have received a few phone calls in regards to our ice rink. We did start flooding it. However, with the 40-degree warm up, it's not ideal, but it is. We will have an ice rink this year, waiting for it to, temperatures to drop a little bit.
Of course, that'll be a community.
Yep, and that'll be a community park. And that's it.
No utilities, police department?
Nothing.
No change. And administration?
Can I
Communications?
ask a question? Pushback on the tax notice that everybody got? Phone calls?
Just a couple, few.
Not
but
really. I had a couple people ask about stormwater. I don't know if they're new to the area. As far as they didn't know what the stormwater utility tax was for. No one's really said anything
I
to
had
me.
one guy, you know, just, well, I see taxes went up, but, yeah. But not as much as they could have.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And again, the fire department board of directors is just about an hour, 45 minutes. The regular board meeting is Monday, January 7th, 2019 at 6 p.m. at the Pulaski Village Hall. The Room Tax Commission is Thursday, January 10th, 2019 at 1:30 p.m. at the Pulaski Village Hall. And the Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee is Tuesday, January 22nd, 2019 at 7:30 a.m. at Premier Community Bank.
That might get switched to library, maybe,
Oh,
Chris? No, that's staying at the Premier? Okay, okay.
It was the library and then Chris, you couldn't get that or whatever.
Could not.
Okay, all right.
Number 11, adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
Roger.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Special assessment.